Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Feazell, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge television, radio, and podcast talk show. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning 2 p.m. on the Eastern Time Zone as I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. It's always so much fun. You can find us on television on Channel 182 Charter Communications. That's up in North Alabama, close to DeJoly's neck of the woods. You know something? Another way that you can also find us is on Abundance Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast on thenewscasters.com. There's another way you're going to be able to find us, and I'll let you know about that pretty soon. So we're really excited about the expansion of the show and the direction everything is going in. So definitely appreciate that. Continue sending email, Donna@donnasedge.com, Donna@donnasedge.com. And you guys have sent a lot of questions for DeJoly. And DeJoly, it's always such an honor to have you on the show. I know with your background, you're an author and you're a speaker, and I'm catching what you do throughout the day too. I like that. I'm digging it.
Thank you. I've been really excited and happy about what I'm doing on Instagram and on social media because I'm on all three platforms, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And I've just had some very deep conversations with people just by asking a question. And it's just been very fulfilling and heart rendering, you know, like I feel for these people that are sharing their stories with me. And it's just been amazing, this journey that I'm on now, because it's like another chapter of my life, you know. Mm-hmm. I started doing videos every day, just basically asking a question or giving some perspective on life, but generally it's includes journaling, and everybody seems to be very accepting of me. You know, I really haven't had any bad. I've had maybe 5 out of. I went viral a couple of times, but you know, when out of all of the comments that I've had, I've only had like maybe 5 that weren't complimentary or willing to say a word or whatever, you know. So it's just been great.
It is, and it's a great way to share your story. So you're an author and you are a speaker. So let me ask you, okay, so for what you're doing and you're getting yourself out there, what seems to be, and there may be several, but what seems to be the number one question people have for you? What are they dealing with right now?
They're dealing with coming back to themselves. They've given, and nobody's appreciated it, or very few have. And they're missing their family if they've lost their family. In general, the main one is I want to find myself again. And that's when I can talk to them about journaling, because it brought me back to myself. Mm-hmm. And it's been very heartful, you know, for me to be able to share that with them, and then know that part of their life is going to be able to have some clarity and have some resolve that they didn't have before because they didn't know where to start. So I offer questions and say, write it down and see where you go with that. Always be curious, you know, because the next question is, why did I do that? Why do I feel that way? Where did I get that from? Who gave that to me? You know, that kind of thing. And so mainly they're talking about coming back to themselves, like they've lost themselves in the busyness of life and in taking care of other people and shrinking themselves so that they don't seem so big, or so that they're accepted. So they want to get back to who they are and live their authentic life. And that's what I want them to do.
Well, how do you do that? How do you get the start? Well, let me go back a little bit.
Okay.
You and I have been friends for a very long time, a number of years. And I think you knew something, because you could detect something wasn't quite right about my life.
Yeah.
You knew, but I was one of those, I'm not going to let anybody know any of this. I'll just deal with it myself. And my head was about to explode from doing that. So thank you for rescuing me. And I know you did that as a friend. Mm-hmm. And so being able, and I just want to tell everybody this, being able to journal, and that's step one. I think that's probably what helped me, was to be able to put all these things down and know I'm not crazy. And yes, that did happen. Mm-hmm. You know, you're talking when somebody's over your head and they tell you, you didn't see that. that did not happen. You've made that up when you know darn well it did happen.
That's called gaslighting, and it happens all the time.
Mhm.
See that because we okay, initially we come into life very dependent and innocent. And
Mhm.
as we take on other people's beliefs and fears and joys and all the rest of it, we develop our personality. Well, if our caretakers are not happy, if they haven't resolved their own issues, we're going to pick those up. And in
Mhm.
order for us to be loved and accepted and fed and our diapers changed, we will start changing our own selves to fit into their bubble. So once
Mhm.
we've done that, we don't even realize that. But that's what we do because we want to be loved. Our survival skills are there. So we take care of that by melding ourselves and pushing ourselves into places where we may not feel comfortable, but we
Mhm.
do it anyway because that's just how we survive. But as we get older, we start seeing maybe some of those characteristics don't work for us anymore, or maybe the ones that we've hidden now can come out. And that becomes our true self when we realize, oh, I was innocent back then. I wasn't mean. I didn't, I, one of the books that I wrote, I've written for, one of the books I wrote was called What Happened to You? And part of that was because the reason I wrote it was because there was an incident of a mass shooting down in Florida.
Mhm.
And everybody was talking about how horrible this guy was that shot everybody. And I agree that it was a horrible situation. However, that man did not get born that way. Something happened to him that
Mhm.
made him that way. And I take that from my own experience. I wasn't born all fractured and shattered. I was born whole. I was born as a baby that all had joy. The life was about me, right? And then
Mhm.
soon it went like that. No, it's not about you, DeJoly. It's about this. And I was put over here.
Mhm.
So what we do for our safety and for love, we change ourselves into that they want us to be in order for us to get that our needs met. So yeah, I don't even know how I got on that subject. What did you ask me?
Well, I think it's a great subject because, again, for a long time, without you and Phil and of course God, I don't know where I'd be today. I really don't because it started as a baby. I don't think I was supposed to be born, and here I am. So it's almost like I was paying for being born, for being,
Yeah,
not supposed to be here. It was like an inconvenience,
right.
and I've seen a lot of people do that to their kids. I've seen,
Hmm.
oh, you're just an inconvenience. No, they're not an inconvenience. You did the happy things to get them here. Well, then you did the happy things to keep them here. You really
Yeah.
need to do that. So, but
Well, and
it's,
I also think that journaling helps us come
oh,
to a place where we understand not only that fact right there is that you were not meant to be born, or they didn't love you when you came out, let me put it that way. But it also helps us understand that they weren't capable of loving us. There was something about them that was damaged that made them totally unable to really care and love us in a way that parents would normally. And other people have, that they have that. And part of that realization comes when you look at that and you feel jealousy because you have a friend whose parents are just loving them like crazy and give them things and take them places and praise them and go to their shows and go to their basketball games and all the rest of it. But you don't. So when you start realizing that, then you say to yourself, well, something's not right.
Mhm.
And when you get older and you start journaling, and maybe you journal as a child as well, because I did when I was a younger, but you get to the place where saying, not only why did they do that to me, but was she capable of giving that to you? And
Mhm.
and the harsh reality is that a lot of us had parents that weren't capable because they hadn't resolved their own issues.
Right.
So we work on our issues and we stop the cycle of not caring for our children, not caring for life, not caring for whatever. You don't want to live.
Mhm.
And so you break the cycle by making your own self-reflection and discovery, and journaling helps that.
Yeah, oh, it most definitely does. I know it's saved my life. I'm just telling you. And another great point that I mentioned this a lot when you're on the show, and it's about writing with your non-dominant hand. It's amazing what that does.
Yes. When you write with your dominant hand, maybe some of your viewers didn't see that show when I said that, but if you're writing with your dominant hand, you often edit as you write. You not only edit your feelings because you don't want everybody to know the real feelings, you just stop those back here and you start editing. Like you want to make sure the spelling is correct, because if somebody sees it, they got to know that you're a good speller. And you got to, all of the rest of editing that goes on in our brains. But if you write with your non-dominant hand, you're bypassing those filters. You're bypassing the edits. And so it comes out more real than it would if you were using your dominant hand. And it may look sloppy at first. You may not be able to even read it.
Yeah.
But somehow or other, as you do it more, your hand becomes more steady. And part of that, I wanted to mention this the last time, is part of that is that you're talking in your left hand. The non-dominant hand is your inner child. You're writing as a child. It looks like child scribble, right?
Yeah.
But eventually your little girl or your little boy will just make it clear enough so that you can read it. It may be big letters, it may be backwards, it may be sloppy all over the place, go off the page. Maybe you only get 3 letters on a page because they're so big. But when you start doing it more often, then you're going to have less and less struggle to read it and write it, actually.
Absolutely. Can you believe half the show is over already?
Wow.
Believe that? Okay, let's go into a commercial break. I can't believe it. We've got to go into a commercial break so we can pay for this. So let's go into a break so we can be right back. We'll be right back in just a few minutes. Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. Finding the right home isn't just about bedrooms and square footage. It's about comfort, security, and the feeling you get the moment you walk through the door. That's why so many families across Greenwood and the Lakelands area trust Jenny Ferguson with Keller Williams. And I'll tell you from personal experience, Jenny was my realtor, and she truly cares about her clients. Jenny takes the time to listen, to understand what matters most, and to guide you every step of the way, whether you're buying your first home, upgrading, or ready to sell. Because this isn't just a transaction, it's your life. With local knowledge, personal care, and a commitment to getting it right, Jenny Ferguson makes the process simple and even enjoyable. So if you're thinking about buying or selling, now's the time to make your move. Call Jenny Ferguson with Keller Williams in Greenwood today and take the next step toward a place you'll truly love coming home to. Shine your style at Kiss My Glass right here in the Anderson Mall. There's a place where style meets sparkle. At Kiss My Glass, every piece is handcrafted, custom designed, and made to shine just like you. Owner Beth Gibson brings creativity to life with stunning custom tumblers, gifts, and one-of-a-kind pieces you won't find anywhere else. Look for the perfect gift or something uniquely you, from bold and glamorous to simple and elegant. There's something for every style, so stop by, get inspired, and leave with something unforgettable. Kiss My Glass inside the Anderson Mall, Anderson, South Carolina, where your sparkle begins. Be sure to check out Kiss My Glass on Facebook for updates and specials and gift ideas.
Lowe's knows that the projects you build in spring are the ones you can't wait to share. It's why we make sure you have our best deals with My Lowe's Rewards, and that you get help from people who've
been there,
done that.
Try this.
This spring, we'll help you build something rewarding. Hey, Stan.
What's up? I made you something.
Oh, thank you.
And I got something for you. You grew these? Of course.
Lowe's knows how to help you spring.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer.
Yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
I'm excited to announce our Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They won't last long, so get them while you can. Our famous My Slippers, they haven't been on sale for over a year. Regularly $119.98, now only $59.98. Our 6-piece towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of MyPillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list. Bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save on all MyPillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98, or our 6-piece towel sets, just $29.98. But that's not all. I'm extending our 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st of 2025. Plus, all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free.
Okay, we are. Good afternoon, Sunshine. Medical Minute brought to you by Dr. Chuck with Lakeland's Chiropractic, where an ounce of prevention is worth what? A pound of cure. So what is the Beamer? Okay, now the Beamer uses very gentle pulsed electromagnetic signals. This will stimulate healthy muscles and it supports the temporary blood flow. Now let's talk Beamer and circulation support. Now the Beamer gently supports natural circulation in healthy muscles. Now that's what I call natural health. Thank you so much for watching your Medical Minute, brought to you by Dr. Chuck. You know who he's with. He's with Lakeland's Chiropractic, where an ounce of prevention is worth what? A pound of cure. I hope you have a super duper awesome rest of the afternoon. You take care. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Television, Radio, and Podcast Talk Show. Wanted to show you something from 21 and a half years ago. This is the first mug right here. I still have it. DeJoly, I keep it in the china cabinet for the most part, so I'm afraid I'm going to break it. I have about 3 of those left. And so it's just kind of something good to hold on to. You know, sometimes you just need something good to hold on to, and that is it. So, and I did want to say something. People sometimes, because you and I talk, they think I might be having problems with my husband. I'm not having issues with him whatsoever. He's like the light of my life, and so glad to have him in my life. As a matter of fact, by knowing you has also helped Phil learn to adjust to me. So, and I'm pretty sure it was a handful at first, but I definitely appreciate everything you've done. You've got quite a few email. So let's go ahead and get started with those. I want to make sure we get to as many as we can. Continue sending email, Donna@donnasedge.com, Donna@donnasedge.com. This is right here that really stuck out. So this is somebody that has really listened to you on the show. Your childhood was marked by unimaginable betrayal. So looking back, what do you think helped you survive during those years?
Looking back at while it was happening, or I'm just going to say, I think it was my connection with God. Let me just put it that way. My connection with God, because there were times when I prayed to be dead. And there were times when I was like, well, this is just my fate. I'm never going to get past. I really, at 6 years old, I thought I was never going to make it to 16, let alone 77, But really, it was that connection with God. And then there were a few people, like when I would go to school, some of the teachers liked me. And I still remember my second grade teacher. I would have been about 6 or 7 then. And she was just, Mrs. Jeters was her name, Jetters. And, I remember her still as being a very kind and sweet and loving woman who allowed me to clean the fishbowl and bang out the erasers for the, but it was positive attention. And because I, of course, wasn't getting that at home. And so, I had a pretty rough beginning of my life. And when I discovered writing, I started writing, not writing, so to speak. I was doing cartoons. I got really good at excuse me. Sorry. I got really good at, Snuffy and Popeye and all those people, because I was just like, I got to copy something. I got to do something. I need to tell somebody something, and nobody was listening anyway. So I really felt alone. Right. And so I started doing cartoons. I had a diary, and I was like, I don't trust this not to be found and read. So I stopped actual writing things, but there were people that were helpful to me. And as I got further and further in, out of high school and going to college, I started journaling, and I started making myself go to places where there were positive people. Of course, I continued prayer and meditation and exercise, walking, talking to myself and all of that. But it is a matter of continually searching for the truth of what happened and why it happened. And what I know for sure is that there are sometimes no answers. And you have to learn to accept that there's no answer to why a person does what they do. Sometimes they don't even know themselves. But I just continued, God wasn't taking me. I was praying to be dead the next day, and I always kept waking up. But
Well, he knew that you had to be around so that old Donna Feazell could get some help.
Yeah, that's what it was.
One of the things, because you've helped a whole lot of people just with your books alone. Before we get to the next question, let's talk about that. How can folks find your books?
They're all on Amazon. At one time, they can also contact me because I have a few copies here, but I would like for them to contact me, DeJoly LaBrier at gmail.com, or find me on Instagram or on Facebook. Tell me though that you found me through Donna Feazell. Otherwise I may not answer you, because some people are salespeople, right? And they're they're bots. And I prefer to have a real person behind it. But they can find my books on Amazon. And if I'm in your area, I have books with me, but I'm not always traveling anymore. I used to travel a lot when I was speaking, and I would take my books with me and sign them and all that stuff. So if they want to contact me, I can arrange to have a book sent to them and signed. But that's how they can find me.
Absolutely. Let's go on to the next question. Many survivors wonder why me. I did. It was like, what have I done? Did you wrestle with that question, and how did you eventually find peace in your life?
Well, that's a really good question, because the why me was never answered, because like I said before, we are all born innocent and dependent, and the world is about us and all of that. So we're born that way. And as we change, it's because of survival. And I did ask myself, why me? Why did I have to go through that? And, I don't like to play a comparison game. I'm not your trauma was worse than mine, so I don't matter. But no, yeah, you do matter. And every woman and every man's story counts. Everything is important. We don't always know why. And there's a level of peace that comes when you accept, I don't know why. And then you move forward. And sometimes it comes in a prayer. Sometimes you say, why, God? And God answers and you get it, you know. But for me, it was, there are no good answers for why they did what they did, right? And so I just had to accept that. I mean, I went through years. I don't mean it just happened overnight with a question and a prayer, you know. But I did spend plenty of time trying to figure out, what did I do to deserve this, right? Because I was a good person. I didn't think I was at the time. I thought I was a horrible person, and I realized that was their vision of me, not my vision of me. They gave me that feeling that I was a horrible person, and that's why I deserved what I got, or didn't get, because I didn't get love. So when you are growing out of that 18 months of incubation into the world, where you start developing your personality by 18 months, you have that feeling. You kind of, this is what they're telling me, so I have to believe them because they're my caretakers, right? And we do that. We believe them, and we don't need to believe them. And that's the one thing that we have to really realize, is that when we have certain beliefs about ourselves and anybody else, even in the world, what do we believe? It's important to take a look at where you got that, because you weren't born with that. You know, if there's something in your life that is bothering you, write that down and then say, I don't understand. And then just say, I don't understand why they did this. And you can say, why am I not getting the answer? Or any question. Every question is important. One of my philosophies is question everything, you know, because it just is true. You've got to be curious. Otherwise, you just sit in that misery of not knowing. And not knowing is sometimes the only answer. You will not know. I will not know why they did to me, what they did. Because some people say, oh, my siblings, two of them said that they chose me because I was the weaker link. Remember when they were there was that show, The Weakest Link? And what I realized, that was their opinion. My opinion was I was strong and resilient, and I survived. And now I'm thriving. So boo on them.
Absolutely. DeJoly, we're going to call it a day. I can't believe how fast this segment went by. Thank you so much for being with me. And thank you so much for everything that you do to help other people. I mean, it's more important than you realize. And thank you guys so much for sending email. I promise we're going to have another segment so that we can finish up on some of the emails. You guys, a lot of folks are hurting right now. Yeah, so we got to get that taken care of. But go on ahead, go to Amazon.com, and you'll be able to find her works there. And I promise you, these books will definitely help you. And then continue sending email, Donna@donnasedge.com. That's Donna@donnasedge.com. Thank you so much. I hope you have a super awesome rest of your day, and you are important in this world. You definitely are. Thank you for watching.